Office.
Order at 9:03 a.m. We'll have an opening prayer by Mr. Hayden Forward and then be led into pledge by Mr. Audrey McQueen.
Gracious Father in heaven, we come to you this day in gratitude for our blessings. We thank you for what moisture has fallen and ask that more come our way. Father, please give us clarity today as we do work for the county. Help us benefit the county in all ways achievable. We say these things to you this day through our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Charge it. Okay. Let's try this one. Are you charging?
Yeah,
Let's see. It's gotta go this way. There we go.
Is there any discussion on the agenda?
And Chairman, number 5 will need to be tabled, and we will be provided the documents for the May 20th.
Okay. All right, so on the, we don't have Adrian here, but like on the approval of the agenda, we wouldn't actually state that now, we would just.
Wait till number 5,
Yeah, we would just,
yeah, and then table it, make a motion to table it.
right. Okay, there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
It's been motioned second that we approve this agenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, first thing, consideration of resolution 55-2025. Okay, so.
You make a
Ta-
motion to
table it?
Mhm.
So, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we table item 5.
I'll second.
It's been motioned second that we table item 5. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now we will open up for the budget workshops for years 25 to 26. And the first on the agenda is the assessor's office.
Buster, I've given you guys the packets there,
Yes, ma'am.
so it'll be, it's not in the order that's on the departments are gonna be in the sticker one. And I do need to address the roads. So basically in this packet is what the departments turned in me, and I just put it in electronically. So that's what you see is like what they've asked for,
Yep.
okay?
Hello, Sheriff. Morning.
Morning, Mr. Hughes.
Morning, sir. So what are we looking for in the packet? Under revenue?
Well, you're gonna go, no, it's gonna be in that same packet, but you're looking for, 40106 is the assessor. I just ran it in order that it is in our system. I didn't
Gotcha.
realize there was gonna be a specific order.
That makes it easy to know it's, so 40106. Okay.
Do we want to? Lily, do you want to share up here? Because I don't know how we want to do this, but so you're not having to stand and so you can sit and we can go over stuff. Is that better? What are you thinking? Okay, so you want to lead this off? Is there anything that you see within the the prospective budget that there are issues with, or that,
Well, I turned my stuff into Becky because I shifted some money around,
right?
and she gave me back the papers, which were exactly what I had to ask them for to do. The only thing, that I didn't do on here with any kind of cost of living or inflation rates or anything, because I didn't know what the budget would allow. So I thought I would wait and see what everybody else asked for and then ask. So the only thing that I'm having issues with in my office is computers. And I was gonna try to get some from ABBA. And I asked them 6 months ago for some quotes. I asked them 6 weeks ago for some quotes. I've never got any quotes. But I'm gonna have to replace 2 computers and a laptop and shoes. And so,
Which line item would you put that under?
well, that's not in my 401 budget, Hayden. That's gonna be in my 499 budget. I'm taking it out of the increase fund. So that's not really gonna affect my general, but I'm just letting you know what my anticipated problems are.
Okay.
And I would like to really get those computers to Bosch. If there's any way we can go back to them.
Yeah, well, that's something that we need to discuss in full with all the departments, because last time, you know, it was kind of a knee-jerk decision.
Yeah.
I felt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was either not on board or barely on board when that happened. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
like that.
Yeah, right after we were in. But it was kind of,
Comedy.
it was kind of a couple people making the decision, pushing it through without communication across one.
So the one thing that really jumps out at me is the printing and publishing.
Yes,
It looks like the expenses was 41,000 against a budget of 1,500.
it's a shame.
Is that? I could very well be. that
For
on my part.
Yeah, that's.
40106 2024, or I'm sorry, 2074.
Yeah, because that's,
No,
Right.
that's
So-
that's probably my fat fingers right there.
so it might be budget of 1,500 and the actual cost is 1495.79.
Pretty much.
Should that be
That would.
maybe
and-
closer?
Yeah,
And it won't be as much next year because what we do, since we don't really have like a newspaper that does the regular publishing. And I'm required by state law to publish the notices in January, once a week, every 3 weeks. So the Grant County Assessor and I split that. So 1 year I publish for both of us, pay for it, and the next year they publish for both of us. So that's basically what the June publishes is for.
Right.
So most of the, a little bit of that could come out for the notice of values. But, most of that I just do at postage.
So is this year our year or was last year?
This year was our year, next year is spring.
All right. And so like you were just telling Hayden, so actually on that computer fund, you're actually gonna use,
I'm using my reappraisal fund for that. I try to use that for what I can use that for, like all the fuel and vehicles and the computers and stuff like that, that I can use it for because it's limited to what I believe. It's a restricted fund.
right?
So
And this is something that I am, is Caution Amber basically our only avenues of service here?
I'm
Is there
sure-
other
I'm sure
companies?
they're not. I just know when we had Kosh, man, I could get my stuff handled remotely so easy. And when they come, they go through the office and ask, do you have anything like I was having trouble with standard, other than to do it, they help me. One thing, I had no issues. I really didn't. And we knew the people, we could call them and tell them, and they were
Were they out of Albuquerque?
They're everywhere. They had a guy that came out of Las Cruces. They're out of Albuquerque. They're in Denver.
Yeah.
They're
The phone support was always in Albuquerque.
yeah, and they did
Yeah,
support the
they
phones.
did support our phones and nothing now.
And they do know us, so it wouldn't be bad to get another quote from them if that's what we want to do.
Because
Well, the only thing, I don't know, we had some issues with the server room because they had to come, so I don't know if that might be a thing, but gosh, I just.
well, and in switching, or at least from what I remember from last time, in switching IT companies, you have to switch all your equipment out. And so your initial cost is high, right? Or you have to
What
switch out,
equipment?
or do we own our own equipment?
We never changed any equipment.
Yeah,
Did
they did, they came
Yeah.
and changed out a
They-
server.
The server, maybe?
Yeah.
Josh came and took theirs and Abba came and took theirs.
Yes.
So I don't know if we bought that from Abba or if we're leasing it from Abba, or I don't know what the deal was with that, like.
We need to find it out, yeah, but we're leasing of the only equipment. And then what the initial cost would be on the setup if we did switch companies. And then maybe get a few
Yeah, I'm sure there's-
competitive bids. We need to find out who the schools are using, and I can find out who they are using for their IT. And if they're happy with them, and if not, you know,
They had an
they're-
IT person there at the school that does. most
They
of
hired
the
a
stuff.
full-time?
Yes.
And we should do that too. Yes. That should be on the list.
I really think honestly, if we had a company like Bosch, we wouldn't have to have multiple IT.
But you felt like they were that good with their customer
They were
service?
best, I mean, you guys, what did you guys say? Cost.
Oh, I like hot better personally.
Our IT person is Alex right now.
Yeah, Kimberly.
Yeah.
And Kimberly,
Which is fine.
Helen.
What was Deanna's big deal with Bosch?
Well, bills weren't paid and her and Kosh got into a big fight. And in the process of this, Kosh raised their fee. And so she found this ABBA that they did with Brookwood Air Force Base. That was wonderful. And they were supposed to be here once a month on site to do stuff. And it maybe just blew up and that's what happened.
She went with Abba because Abba is on state prices, so we didn't have to go out there and bids for our assessment. And there may be others on state price agreement, but who cost to it on state price agreement.
They may have that.
Yeah, they may have that too, so.
And I'm not saying you have to go with Kosh, I'm just saying we need to do something.
Okay.
And something that also does go in.
So looking through the budget, there's just a very slight increase for next year. Thank you.
Yeah, that's.
I appreciate
that's the insurance and stuff that I didn't raise any of my stuff. I shifted some money around like.
And in both the full-time and part-time salaries, the actual expenses are significantly below the budget number, so there should be enough in there for cost of living or whatever we're gonna do for salary increases.
I think so.
And we do, so keep in mind that these expenses are just up until May 2nd. So on the salaries and all those things, you still have 6 pay periods that have not been entered into, that will still need to be entered into.
Right, that will,
So
that will
it will
take-
up those, yeah,
yeah, on the 24-25 expenses.
yes.
So,
My part-time and stuff will start going down as well, because right now what I'm doing is having part-time standing on the property code and doing part-time system. And so once that's done, and just be a maintenance clean up each. At which point, I'm probably gonna come back and ask for another full-time position, which is still, but we're not there.
Do what?
Field works.
Oh. So who are your field officers ranking?
Right now, Davey and, Scotty do most of it. Sometimes depending on, because if we get a call and we're holding up a sale for an appraisal or something, we'll go do it right then, because we don't like holding, but, so, so all of us are, Kimberly's the only one that's not, state certified appraiser, and she's actually in the first class this. So any of us, once, and we'll take her out and train her how to do that as she's getting,
All right.
So even when we add in the 6 pay periods, we've still got plenty of money in the budget for,
and I did leave my, incentive increase, depending on the court case. Which is July 23rd, in person here,
okay.
and so, but then that would just be a commission decision.
Okay.
So Becky, can we do an estimate there, like on the next 6 weeks pay period? Just kind of, so like this is all as of today expenses, right? And there's a possibility that we actually are $40,000 less on the expenses.
Yeah, you are, so it's only 341,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that we're even,
There.
right. Okay.
See, we're working from February. We don't even get it, then it was, yeah, then.
Right, and then gaining another, so it'd be, then,
I think
another 20,000 there.
think this is pretty clean.
Okay. Right, thank you.
I need to ask to be on the agenda when it's time for the presentation to the commission. And it needs to be an action item to accept.
Okay, and the action item for what?
To vote on whether you accept my presentation or not.
Okay. And the presentation should be, revenue, income? Is that the title you want?
No, it's assessor's annual presentation to the commission.
Okay.
And that's basically what I have to do. And that was kind of like also where I showed you what we've done.
Used to be in.
I think you've all been,
Yes. You got that
We
down,
need
Deb?
to join.
Yeah.
We need to be on that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
all done.
Okay. Mission.
And that's gonna start on page 3 of your bid packet, right? So let me explain a little bit about the commission budget. So each department has their own little department budget. The commission office does not have a department, so to speak, budget.
Is this 40101?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the commission office pulls in everything. The commission office covers all of your wages, all of your mileage per diem, it covers all, most of the insurances, covers the legal fees, so there's a lot in. It's not just like our little department, it covers the bulk of everything, so that's why it's significantly larger than anybody else's, other than the sheriff's. Yeah. Um. We didn't go up a whole lot either on this budget. Uh,
Okay, but a few of these, actually, if you add in the next 6 weeks, we're gonna go over budget, right?
You may.
Well, I mean, so like there's almost 3 in a row here, so holiday and overtime pay is at 5226. It was budgeted for 5300. That could possibly go over in the next 6 pay.
We don't have any more holidays between us, do we?
They're not
We have
memorial.
Memorial Day.
Then mileage and per diem is budgeted at 15,000. Right now, we're at 20,219.
Right, there was a lot of trips that were not budgeted. That we didn't know back in the last fiscal year, the beginning of this fiscal year.
This also covers, correct me if I'm wrong, the commissions.
Yes,
You know,
it
my,
covers all of your expenses.
Right. Maintenance contracts budgeted for 7,000. We're at 13,438.
So on those, I mean, we don't have any control over that. I mean, if something goes wrong in the building or whatever, we gotta bring somebody in to fix it. J&T's, some of their expenses came out of there. It's basically just trying to kind of match it right around of what we end up spending.
Um, if you don't mind me just asking questions as we go,
No, that's fine.
do we anticipate insurance going up again in 25, 26?
I don't know. I've not heard anything.
Okay,
I just know this last fiscal year, we got hit.
almost double.
Sheriff's office got hit triple, so it was like
Okay,
a real increase in the insurance.
well, that's why I ask. It's probably worth a phone call. Because when it doubles in 1 year and we're budgeting for the same amount, if you have somebody to call, I would sure call and ask what they anticipate.
Are we looking for before I get to, are you looking at the group insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the group insurance is, that is the employees' health insurance benefits. So the reason that went up is because we had some employees it just depends, so you have an employee that,
I understand.
yeah.
Yep, okay.
So
I
it
didn't
depends on
realize
if
it
they're,
was
if they're
health
picking,
insurance.
if they're picking their whole family or if they're picking
I
just
get it.
themselves, yeah.
Okay,
So that was,
all right. Then I certainly agree with the 54,000 budgeted. Okay.
So let me Becky, like, you may know the answers to this, so 40101 2070 on the building repair and maintenance.
that was the boiler. That was the boiler expense. And the boiler went down. So that's what shot that up.
Okay. So when something like that happens and we go over budget on that because of something that's out of control or whatever, then that just eats into the excess funds that was rolled over, or how does that come out?
So on the next commission meeting, this is where I have all the budget adjustments that you guys approved.
Right.
I have to take that out of the negative and put it back in the positive, so I have to take from other line items that are gonna have leftover money in them. I have to pull from those to cover that. I just have to balance it out before the end of the fiscal year.
Okay, and so just because of that, like on the building repair, that's why you've adjusted the interim, so like the interim budget for 24-25 was 10,000.
Mhm.
Then we had the boiler go out, and so just for possible unforeseen circumstances, we bumped that to 30,000. Okay,
So the goal is to, whatever our budget was for this, the goal is at the end of this fiscal year is to not increase anything, just move the line items around so that it still stays in the same budget. You know,
okay.
Remind me, did we not pay for the boiler out of the LATCF funds?
no,
Okay, okay.
that would have been nice. But no, we didn't. No, so.
Okay, question on 401, 2075 on the audit.
Yes,
We're having to pay that much
so.
for an audit to be done?
So last year, it was 103 because the audit had not been done. And so we had 2 audits back to back in one fiscal year.
Okay,
So but now now it's like 53,900 and something. 'Cause they're actually, they quoted me. So that's why it went back down to 50.
okay, good. Yeah. So, on the triadic Tyler,
That's awful.
That's a whole nother story. I mean, it's, I can't remember what it was when I added it, the last time I added it up, on the Tyler side of it, once again, we had put out a lot more money than what was anticipated.
so did the training take place in the treasurer's office? And any report back on that? Do we have anybody from the treasurer's?
No,
No.
Rick is having, shoulder surgery today.
He met with me, he met with us.
Yeah, last week.
Okay. Who did he make, who's his chief
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
designated? So he just, basically it's himself and employees, right? Yeah. Okay. So any feedback on how the training went? Like, did they learn some things that,
It was
Possibly
beneficial, but, and he's kind of made a decision of which program he'd like to use. He's leaning, I don't know. He's leaning more towards, right,
Isn't he giving us a presentation?
I
On the
believe
20th?
he wants to provide, go in depth on his choice. I'm not sure if was he asking for a presentation on the 20th?
He mentioned it to me.
Okay,
okay, but the one thing he's gonna have to understand in making that decision is it's not gonna be on the assessor's office to convert their information.
correct.
No.
He's aware.
No,
Okay. And the cost analysis between, so, Sherry, I know that there would be the conversion deal. I know that you've expressed that you would rather the clerk's office be on Triadic.
I haven't been on Triadic for like 10 years. I have no idea what it's about. I really don't. They've never really talked to us about it. We were on PDS. We were not on Triadic. We were on Triadic way back before in like 2013 when they first started, and I just got a little bit of it. And that's different. And they tell me it's totally changed now from back in the day when it was DOS or something like that. So I don't know what it's about.
So
I
is it
was-
easiest for your office to stay?
Honestly, half this week, well, we weren't even on Tyler half the week because we had so much problems, because anytime they do an update with ABBA, it screws up our Tyler. And so we were fighting all week to ask Helen. She was trying to get it on because she'd have to go from computer to computer and they'd have to reinstall it because it just goes.
The issue.
It was both, I think. And you can't get someone. You have to wait for them to. And
But
we're
we do
talking,
have
that's
information
Tyler.
now that I and Alex showed me how, where I can fix it myself and I don't have to call them.
We're 90% ready to go with Tyler.
Yes.
It'd be a
I
tough
just-
sell to say we're kicking it back to Triadic. I'll be interested to hear what Rick has to say. I think that's important.
But it sounds like he still feels like Tyler is doable, even though he would rather try it.
He has some concerns with their availability, their customer service, their, you know, kind of, their responsiveness is not up to par what he feels. I mean, he needs an issue addressed almost immediately because he has a customer's, and he doesn't feel that that's. So, but I would request that he provide. Is there,
We all have that same problem with them. They don't get back with you. You're asking over and over for help. You don't. They don't get back with you.
Yeah, I know you've had a different experience.
But after Teresa came and did the training with the treasurer's office, she called me the following week and said, "Have you heard anything? How's things going?" And I said, "I don't think very good." She said, "Well, why haven't they called me?" She said, "I have not got a single call from you."
I don't think there's.
So I do know that. I can verify that with Teresa.
No, but it's like anything else. To get the better service, there has to be a relationship established with a specific entity within Tyler. Like I think that, because I think that your success came because you were able to establish a working relationship with Teresa, right?
Well, Teresa does the training and stuff, but we established with Ida and the group that does the assessor. thing.
Right.
So, or the assessor support.
Okay. So. Yes,
I have no, I mean,
and so,
for the finance side of it, I have no feeling one way or the other.
So-
I'm just, but I do think you guys need to listen to Rick and see what he has to say.
right. What, and then since that training took place, so the training for the commission office hasn't.
it hasn't gone yet because we want to know what Rick's decision is, because the treasury and finance need to be on the same, program.
And I know that there's still, I mean, in the treasurer's office, I do know that there's still issues, that it's not, if somebody walks in and they've got 5 years worth of taxes to pay, Tyler is only gonna put in the last 2 years, and it's gonna take the rest of the money and put it for future payments, and it will not put it in, it will not take the delinquent. And then you're not able to get a full delinquent list for the state.
That's not a permanent issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, there's just things that need to be fixed, yeah. They just need to be addressed.
I personally think we're very handicapped right now having this discussion because Rick is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
All right. But I mean, that's one thing that we're gonna have to suss out before the budget, like it's been a fight every year and we keep pouring money into it. And some ways it feels like dead money, but anyway,
So in the past budgets, in the past years, we've always kept it like around 250,000 just for good coverage, anything like that. So, I mean, even when we go down to one of them, it's still a nice cushion to have there. in case,
Right.
You know,
so what,
cover expenses of travel and all that kind of stuff if they have to come up and fix it.
right? So what's pushed it over this year? Is it because so like right now, it shows we're at 261,
Well, you've got,
852, and then that would be more with
I
that.
think it's when they come up to train, or when they come up, it's like $12,600 or whatever each trip. So that's,
I thought they did something in agreement with us the last time.
I don't know anything about that. There's not, I don't think there's. Yeah, I don't know.
We just get the invoices that show, the $12,000 bill. The week of training.
We can go back to the notes that we have when they were here and see what their commitments were.
When we had that meeting and they were on the screen, yeah, because I couldn't find any of my stuff in that meeting too, but I know that there was some things promised.
Okay. Is there anything else that needs to be addressed on this or that they're seeing? Hayden? Audrey?
I certainly like seeing the expenses under budget. I just hope we're not getting in the weeds a little too much. There's, and this is minor, but when we're budgeting twice as much as what actual was, I wonder if we really need to budget that much.
So. Yeah, so like I said, these are the actuals up until May 2nd, so you still have 2 months of expenses that
Yeah,
are gonna hit.
I get it. And the truth is, the examples I can come up with are minor. They're not big line items. So.
But are the, if they're, so like on the solid waste disposal fee, so that was budgeted at 300, that was basically to cover the cards that get sent out to each, department or whatever. We've now bumped it up to 3,500 because, well, Deb, I'll let you talk on that.
Well, my understanding is the dumpsters, we were not, basically paying for the services we were getting through the solid waste department. I would have probably deferred Mark on some of these. For example, the commission office and PMS wasn't even reimbursing solid waste for their costs associated with the dumpster. So I would, I have added that portion into the budgets. I felt that we needed to cover our costs.
Yeah.
We were,
And
creating them.
And look, it's $3,500, and in the big picture, that isn't much. And if you think there's good logic behind it to put that in, then I get that. But in the majority of the heavier line items, with the exception of para, it looks like you're close to budget. There's a few that jump out. Maybe you could say why para is budgeted at 21,000 again when the actual was 12.
It probably had to do with the employees at the time. So we lost a couple employees, and depending on what their situation was, that would increase it or decrease it.
Okay.
And I have to do a supporting documentation sheet for the whole county for payroll, and, once I get that done. So for like the interim, before we approve the interim budget itself, it will probably reflect more of a true number, so it could very easily go down. Budget side of it.
Okay, so actual was approximately 15% below budgeted. Now, I know that we're not quite done with the year yet, so it's pretty close.
And then the manager and the finance side of it are on the next page.
The O2,
Yeah, 40102 and 403.
Okay.
Those are not mixed in with the actual commission, budget. And the only reason I can tell you is that DFA wants it that way, so they had us take finance and accounting manager out. The actual commission department. On the county manager side, you can see under the para, the previous county manager was not getting para, so that's why there's nothing shown there. Now there is. For this next budget.
So Becky, on the full-time salaries, is that including any other salaries or is that just?
That's just me and just the county managers.
On the county? Okay.
that's you and the county manager?
The two.
No,
Two separate
the
lines.
two separate.
There's two separate.
What we've done here for the county manager is we budgeted the $110,000 depending on which way the commission wants to go in the next fiscal year, depending on, interim versus a salary person. So I kept it the same as it was for last year's budget. This does not incorporate other expenses that may be incurred paid by the
Right. But on the initial expenses, they should have went down for the year, for the 24-25, didn't they?
Not necessarily, because you need to pay out and
Yeah, pay out.
everything else, so you had
Okay.
to, and you know, normally it would have been, yes.
Yeah. Because we gave you
Too much meeting.
All right.
It's the same as it was last
Anything else?
time.
All right. Let's move on.
It's great, on the very next page.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Mine is it's pretty close to the same. I wanted to give my two ladies a raise but I have the money in there to give them a raise, so if that is good with you, that's,
And commissioners, I gave you those letters that Sherry had
yes.
given to me, so.
And I. That's pretty much all that I needed. We changed a few things because some things were a little bit in the red, so we moved things around a little bit, but we're not asking for a lot more. There was one that we did need to get done, was the 21,000 to the state. We had to reimburse them, and I'm trying to get that done, and I don't know if it's been done.
Okay, and that's on what?
That's on the budget, the election.
Election.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that comes out of your elections, not your clerks.
No. And there's money to pay them. It
Yes,
just needs to be done.
no, I checked.
So just a couple of obvious questions on the full-time
Mhm.
salaries. Actual is 44,000. There's 6 weeks missing there, so kick it up to 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
But the budget is 81. So wondering why there's almost 30% more in the budget than what is actual.
Partly because she works 4 days. She doesn't work 5 days, and that's probably what's going on with hers. I'm thinking. Jill only makes 4 days a week because of when the county went on that 4-day week, she stayed on the 4-day week. She didn't get that 5th day. He let her do that at that time. He said it was good for her. She's older and she has to travel from Kamado, and so he gave her that. So.
Yeah, it's certainly your decision on how many hours she works. My question is, if the actual expenses for full-time salaries is 50,000, why is the budget 81,000?
I do not know. It was there from when Sharon. I haven't changed it. I have not changed it.
So it was just a placeholder.
Yeah. And you can always use it if you have to, if something comes up like an emergency. So.
Well, and I think that probably the reason why Sharon put that in there.
She was
Yes.
planning for a raise, maybe.
Well,
I think she was actually planning for another employee.
that's what it looks like.
That
Yeah.
could be.
She was planning for another position.
Well, you
Because
have
we
to
have-
build a cushion in for election years,
Yes, we
because there
do.
might be additional.
And we have 2
expenses.
elections this next year. This year we only,
We do. We have one this year, but the year is different. It's not like
Right, next year will be
the
midterm.
primary. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's 2 elections, but that's not, and truthfully, we do need another employee. But Lori only wants part-time because she has a husband that's older. She has to take care of him mostly. And Jill is that, she's full-time, but she gets us only 4 days. So we're kind of looking for another person, but we're just holding back on that.
Sherry, how many days a week does Lori work?
1 to 2. On election years, she can work up to all
Okay.
week.
My curiosity, just bear with me. So if she's only working 1 to 2 days a week, why is that not considered a casual? Because a casual is 20 hours a week, that's casual. not
Because-
time.
On time, on some days, on some election years, she's full-time, literally all week long. She is with us all the time.
Right,
And then
Usually-
if we're gone,
I get that, but to be any question things here, but I'm thinking that, because you can pull a casual in as a temporary
Mm-hmm.
for a, a length of time, full time. But I'm just thinking that she should be considered a casual and not a part-time. Because a part-time is 32 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's the law. So I don't know
We
what you're
want-
saying.
We want to give her time. It's just sometimes we use her for when we're gone, when we have to go, because we have to go to a meeting or something, or if we're in classes, and so
Right.
she's there anytime we need her.
And I get that.
But what is
But
what is
I-
the difficulty between running her casual and then part-time?
Well, because a casual does not get any benefits and all that. You're having somebody that's working 1 to 2 days a week and getting benefits, when they actually should be considered a casual.
But we don't want to lose her. I mean, we're serious. We
I
do
know, no,
not need
I'm not
to lose
saying
her.
that. I'm just asking for like from what I've always understood, I don't know how you can,
Well,
that's an Adrian question. It is,
Yeah.
because I don't understand how
From-
you can label somebody part-time when they're not working 32 hours a week.
well, from accounting perspective, we're paying benefits on somebody who's not working 32 hours a week.
Right.
So
For us, she is worth it because she knows
She knows
the
everything.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to train someone for that job, it would cost us much more.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she's not worth it. I'm just looking
But we
at
need
it
to
from
get
the
her
legal side of it, like
32.
what is,
Should-
that's just my curiosity.
So we need to get her 32 hours at
I
least.
think we need to get her more than 20,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's the cutoff.
Right.
Right?
right.
Okay. Well, we will work on that. Let's see if we can get her 32 at least.
or between 20 and 32.
Okay, so if you are looking for a second employee, is 30,000 enough for a second employee?
Probably not a full-time person, part-time maybe.
Well, I think that would be the question under salaries. If you're not gonna get a second employee, then I believe a $30,000 buffer is too much for salaries. But if you are gonna get a second,
I need to get one here. I've got my ears open, trying to find someone. It's not easy. I don't want to just hire someone and then next week they're find out how it works.
maybe the thing to do is to look at the salaries.
Okay,
Either lower or increase it and then justify this additional employee.
okay,
That's my opinion.
okay.
all right. Any other things, Sharon?
Not that I see, the probate was on ours and, Lucinda was over the probate.
We went up $1,000 for the conference. We have a yearly conference put on by the law school.
Oh,
No, that's elections, but
You
I'm not,
go up, you just
It's
added the
probate.
line item.
it is
We
401.
added the line item and moved $500 from the stamps to the,
We
so you
didn't
didn't go up at all.
go up on it. We just
On the
moved
line item,
things around.
500 for mailing, for stamps. We do a lot of probates through the mail. People
Well,
live out of
we
state.
first need to see the numbers.
And
So
then-
it's 401, oh,
Becky, where's the?
they're
401.
13.
13. There
Sorry
we
about
go.
that.
Sorry.
We didn't change it.
Okay. Yeah, so we're
That was-
basically under budget.
That's
10
everything.
would be-
I'm
We
sorry.
we usually are under budget. We added a line item for the additional stamps. We've really increased our probate numbers tenfold. But, and then we increased for every year the university puts on a conference we're required to go to.
So
And we added-
500 for the postage and increased
500 for the,
conventions?
yeah.
We just separated,
We
we
just
had
separated it.
1,000 for postage and we just changed it to 500 for each.
Okay,
The clerk's, budget carries her a lot because of like Jill works as her clerk.
Right.
And so it covers it instead of having to hire someone to help her. We just use Jill as her clerk
Yeah,
instead.
Jill does a
Covers it.
lot. I mean,
Stamps and
she's-
stuff, sometimes we have to go over and we just use our clerks. Because they send out a lot of packets. And so that's pretty much, it usually covers it though.
Yeah.
Again, we're not talking a lot of money here, and I understand you wanting a buffer. It is a 50% buffer. Do you think that's too much?
On the,
If you look at 40113,
no,
Well, and you still got your years.
we have hopes.
You still have 6 weeks
yeah,
into that.
okay. Again, it's not a lot of money, so it really isn't the money. It's the philosophy that you have with budget. You want a budget as close to actual as possible.
Well, we're hoping for a raise for all of us. Would that help? Wouldn't it?
That certainly would.
We're
That would be a
on the
big
raise. Yeah.
raise. Yeah, and I know I'm repeating myself. It's not the money. It's the philosophy of budgeting. And if you do want to try to keep the budget as close to actual, that way we know what money's available for other projects, other raises, more equipment. You know.
For other offices, not ours, right? Correct?
No, that isn't correct. Everyone is.
We try to stay under, we don't buy a lot in our office. We reuse things in our office. And so we try to cut our budget with other things.
Okay.
We share our printers and yes, we share. And so we cover the expenses for a lot of the other offices.
Yeah, the dollars we're talking about, that's not the issue. It's the philosophy. So enough said. I don't think it's enough to fuss over.
We want to go back to 40105, year of elections, budget.
Okay.
And we talked to them with the SOS. And from what I get, they're being cut. And so they're cutting us. They're not paying for what they used to pay,
And that's on the state level?
and that's on the state level.
And what does it change on the budget?
They told us that they would give us a list of what they will pay for. And it's like even like our tabulator batteries, they don't pay for now. Basics things that used to they would pay for, they won't do it. And so they're cutting our budget on that, but they haven't given us an actual account for it. But they cut it on our last one.
With all
So-
the money the state has,
But they're worried, this thing with the Trump, it's just got them. They're cutting people and a lot of people are quitting and going to other jobs. So they're cutting us. And that's what I worry about, I guess more is why I keep my budget higher on my elections. It's because if they do not cover us, we have to cover it ourselves. It's a law that says that we have to run those elections. and they're not cheap.
Okay, so we're looking at 40105. Is that right?
Yes. And even if it's a small election, it's still a costly election because there's a lot of mailings and people are going toward more ballots that are mailed to them. So it costs us more and more every year.
And this one's down because we had to send back $21,000 that was not used. So that brought the,
So it was about 24,000, something like that, 25,000 that we actually used of their money.
yeah,
But that's
yeah.
what they give us.
So
They send us a certain amount of money we're supposed to use up for the election, but then they don't give us back what we completely use because they decided that certain things aren't able to be used anymore. So it's like if I need a tabulator fixed, used to they would cover that, but they don't do that now. So a battery is like $300 to $500 for one of those tabulators. And if it needs to be fixed, it has to be done, but now they're not letting us take the money out of that money that they give us for it. So now we have to pay on ourselves. So we have to have money for backup just in case the state won't pay.
So this is an excellent example, and I understand why you need backup. But when you compare the budget to actual, we are 340% over what actual was. So do we need that 340% to cover ourselves for what the state's going to do to us?
It has been in there. I didn't change it at all. So
I think the computer line item, that reflects a grant that the clerk's office got, so
yes, that's
that
true.
is still, so that 322 is their balance of the grant, so that's why that's there.
We got a grant for our computers. Even the clerk's office, we covered our computers. We got a grant to cover the person that runs our equipment out to the sites for us. So we had that $5,000 grant too.
Sherry, so a question on the mail. Don't people have to request for a mail-in ballot?
They do, and they do.
And-
During election time,
Yeah.
our phone is ringing constantly because they're all wanting a ballot sent to them. It's getting more and more now than it used to be. When I started, it was running just maybe a third of the people wanted a mail-in ballot. Now it's got to be more than half, more than half. Nobody runs to vote anymore.
And
Get
that's
them
when
a ballot.
Lori's used a lot too. for
That's
that.
when we need
And so
our
how is
extra
that?
help.
I'm just asking this out of curiosity. So how is that verified? So when somebody calls in, request a mail-in ballot,
We have to send them an application and they fill it out and they sign it. They send it back to us. And then we have to send them the ballot. So it's like 2 mailings to each person. And a ballot doesn't cost like 60 cents. A ballot costs around $1.30, something like that, to get 1 cent to a person. We pay for the going and the coming back on the steps for ballots.
yeah, I don't have any further
Well,
questions.
I do. On the 05, we've got $80,000. that is budgeted that actual expenditures have not used?
Last year there was one election. This year there'll be 2 elections.
Oh, so we can double the 36,000?
Yeah.
That answers the question.
That's it.
That helps it, and you want a buffer in there for what the state is going
You
to
don't know what they're
do.
gonna give us back.
Okay,
Yeah, we have 2 elections. It's because of the year, it's not a year from January to December, it's a year from
July
July to June.
okay, got
It's
it.
2 elections this next.
All right. Now we'll move on to the sheriff. Good morning, sir.
Yes.
So, looking over your budget, Mr. Hughes, any concerns or things you want to initially bring up?
The one I'd like to bring up first is full-time salaries. With 4 dispatchers, 6 deputies, we were under budgeted this year with full staff.
Right.
And, they're having 2 appointed positions on top of that. So that's actually over what we were budgeted, luckily, short-handed, to be honest. With, what we looked at. Well, add a little bit more on that. I'd like to keep the position of, transport officer, jailer, whatever. Where he pretty much have all the non-law enforcement tasks that come through.
Right.
Civil process thing on that one. That way, they take a deputy off with his daily routines to go serve papers or do that transport. That's probably what it's not. That's the reason I asked for expert on that. The part-time salary, we have 1 part-time dispatcher right now. We need actually 4 local part-time that cover 24/7. And the balance of that, I'd like to have really just discuss what his title would be. Hire someone to help us do the public safety issues with wolves in the community, close proximity to the population. And that would be a regular position as well.
Right.
We have a little extra in there that would cover that position. Insurance, I don't know, we've done everything we could to keep that down from closing the jail basically, to having this meeting every order they give us is still, they went up. I think that was pretty much statewide.
So on that question there, while we're on the, so Becky, I'm taking it that in 23, 24, that our insurance expenses were around 81,000, and
Yes,
that's why we budgeted
Yes, that's
that.
exactly correct.
And then we got slammed with 220,000.
The sheriff's insurance tripled. The jail, it tripled.
Right.
Plus, there's other concerns that are included in it, but that's the major one.
Right. But won't that, since the jail is not up, why won't that go away?
I don't know, that's what the jail wasn't operating when we got charged with this one, so
Right.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so then
I think
need
we
to
were just
address-
warned that it was going to go up no matter what, I think so, but
So we need to address that because the jail is not operational, so we shouldn't have to be paying insurance costs on that.
The holdings of all this is very temporary, it's just usually a few minutes that you have somebody there, put them. Right on, as soon as we find a place to put them, we're gone.
Right.
and I don't know this, but it could be tied to past issues, I don't know. That's
Well,
what I'm thinking.
I'm sure it is,
Yeah.
but that's the point. We've eliminated the cost of the
Right.
past issues.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so I think it would be a good question to ask them.
Do that.
So Sheriff, on the full-time salaries, the reason actual is $100,000 below last year's budget. Is that because of deputies quitting? Okay, so the 602 is if we have a full contingency.
And another issue with that is, Trevor and us, yes, we, having this, first, we do the transports, based on low times, also do the compliance with 24. They are law enforcement. They would have to let people work, or just things on those lines as well. So that, it takes a lot of that budget to put it on.
All right, so we're looking at 300,000 increase. And that's essentially salaries
And then,
and the insurance.
I do want to point out, line item for 0108-2064, the vehicle purchase village, LEV. So that, what that is, that's newly added in here. The village, her agreement gives the sheriff's office their, LEPF funds.
Right.
So the auditors told me, or DFA actually, and auditors. So we were putting the village's LEPF into their LEPF fund. And they told me to stop doing that because they said it's the village's LEPF, but once they get rid of it, if we put it in our LEPF, then it becomes restricted. We don't have to put it in the 401 and it's non-restricted money. So therefore, it doesn't have to be reported if it's carried over or anything like that. So this is,
But isn't that income rather than expense?
well, yeah, well, so we do. It is, there's 95,000 budgeted on the revenue side, and then this is their 95,000 to spend on the expense side. It's on both
Washes
sides.
it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just moved to a non-restrictive line item.
okay.
the, other thing with jail housing, I took some of, jail expenses and decreased them to amount that we would more than likely need and went back to the inmate housing.
Which line item was that?
It would be,
No, that's a different budget.
Oh, it's not here.
No, it's a
Okay.
different budget.
would be, the stick over,
Yeah, so those are gonna be on this other one here.
another thing, with the hour on their birthday stuff, but was the rest what spoke about it, about hiring a mechanic for the county vehicle maintenance. I think we could take half our vehicle maintenance, but towards that salary and still come way out ahead. It's ridiculous to go get a brake change and a oil change at $1,000.
Right, exactly.
So the 59,000.
I think we could take half of that, put it towards the salary. And then we got the fire department was really good, everybody else that could make up shit part of it. We would come out way ahead and get better quality of work.
Could you put that in your budget? Hey, Mark. We're talking about hiring a maintenance man for the vehicles rather than paying people to change the
We
oil.
talked
And
about it, yes,
does it
good.
make sense in your budget
Yes.
also?
yes, it does.
So what we'd like to do, what we've kind of spoken, here is hire a county, employee that will work on their vehicle.
Yeah.
And then have that person be based out of one of the road yards, preferably reserve. And they may, kind of bounce up to Quamato and grab some fire equipment. And, but we would, we see it, I mean, that, we think that the county would be in a better position if it was.
I don't know how the other commissioners feel, but I'd like to see that in the final budget.
It would save us money. We have 2 vehicles, so we could budget them for.
Yeah.
And follow up on it.
Keep in mind, they can't work with all vehicles. Road bridge have graders and things that are already under contract or whatever.
Yeah.
They're certain fire trucks. I think you gotta be, have certain certification. Just, day-to-day vehicle. This significant status in the county.
Yeah, if you could, shift over that expense as much as you think you can to a new employee, and then we could match it up with Mark. I think that's a good idea.
We'd also, it'd be down the line if we had to build another shop over in our yard or something, just to get them moved out of River Bridge into another shop of their own, so their equipment and everything.
I'm thinking originally with using the road yard, if they already had the, used oil disposal, right? And so that would reduce that cost.
Okay. Becky, how are we gonna do with the 300,000 increase for the sheriff's department? How's that gonna fit?
Well, I mean, my feeling is that you can't mess around too much with the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
Because, you know what, I mean, they need what they need. This is one of those areas that's kind of like,
But we'll see a general budget with that included? With that increase included? A general P&L?
yeah.
Okay.
So now where do you want me to put this mechanic position?
But I think it would have to be under, I mean, this is a
Under
discussion, it would probably be under, start out under the commission unless you guys want to leave it under public works. Or obviously roads.
We could put it under commission, or we could just create a whole new department for it.
Would we need to create a whole new department for it? Couldn't we put it under roads? No?
No, I
No.
don't think we need to do that, but I think we need to talk about it more, figure out exactly what we need to do.
Yeah.
We've talked about it, and I think it's a good idea, but we need to, streamline.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to fine tune it.
Okay.
Because there are some things like towards the end here that we need to discuss, so
Okay.
after everybody's done.
Okay.
Or even an oil change.
Thank you, Mr. Yambit.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, oil change is $200.
That's why I changed my own oil. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It'll take long to add
Well,
up.
No,
Okay.
not really, that can be considered under other, whatever.
Okay, we'll move on to solid waste and road.
And then you've got a single sheet there before you can solid waste. Mark doesn't have any, he's gonna let me handle it.
Okay.
So solid waste is actually doing really well. I don't have a.
Well, that's the first time, right?
No,
No?
no, they did well last year too. I do not have
Guess we have to
their,
hire somebody.
you know, I
Guess
don't
we
have
have
any,
to part-time.
yeah, and I don't have like what their,
We don't-
prior expenses were or anything, cause I just
really old. I mean, I know.
but
It's just
they're doing
generation
okay,
here.
so they,
Real
Maybe
close
just
to
another
what we were.
part-time.
yeah, so,
Maybe we'll-
so they
some of the-
budgeted. So they budgeted,
Full-time,
1.3 million for
Ask.
revenue,
Or a.
and they brought in
To get more
1.2
hours.
million already, and they're
Look
still,
special.
they get their
And during election
percentage
time,
of
we
their
do
revenue the
temporary
last 2 months of the
part-time.
fiscal year, they're invoicing. So they will hit that mark. And so, and then minus their expenses or whatever, so they'll have like a beginning balance somewhere around $720,000.
issue.
with their other income, it brings them to 1.3 million. Their expenditures are at 610, so they have a balance of almost $700,000
Yeah, maybe.
free.
Or underutilized.
So they're sitting good.
Get it more.
They're probably the only department that's sitting good.
Okay,
The trips,
Uh-huh.
little bit of time you can see.
Yeah.
See who's what it says.
It's on this week.
You know,
On the sheets.
does it make sense?
Yeah, with this one, Jane, I didn't have the past expenses or anything because I just pulled this one quickly.
Okay.
But as I said, they're doing really well. They're like $700,000 too good. They didn't go over their budget for last year.
We didn't get the money for the rock crusher and grader.
Oh, we did not.
Yeah,
Okay.
tried. We'll have to change our plan on that.
All we do is try.
is there any way that we can apply for it? I'm just trying to think Santa Fe here, and we do opioid rehabilitation.
You
I'm
don't,
just thinking we word it differently, and then,
I think if you want a grant person that knows what they're doing, that finds something to help us out.
Yeah.
Do.
what I
They
think,
gotta be there somewhere.
what I think we need to do is talk with Grant County and Sapporo County and have all three of us put in for the money, because all three counties can use it,
Sure.
right? And that'll give us more leverage.
move it to one place and then crush a bunch and then move it.
Yeah, we'd have to do that. You know, like, Greeley County, they got a crusher.
Have
They
a
do all
full-time
the roads,
crew
of course,
there.
they just crush in one spot, but, you know, they got the resources to freight it where
Right.
So if that ICIP money went in, if we divided it by three, and then explained to the legislation what we're doing, and it'll support all three counties, I think we'll have a much better chance. Gotta do something. Think how much less money you'd spend if you didn't have to go get all that road base.
That's right, that's right. Just think of all the roads that need.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything? Mark, anything else that stands out or that we think needs to be addressed? But,
We talking roads now or solid way?
well, on either, because
Roads, yes, we
see,
definitely have to discuss.
We're pretty good.
yeah, so solid waste is seems pretty good. So on roads,
Okay, so roads, I handed you a sheet that looks like this, summary sheet,
yep,
and you can go to that one. So Deb and Mark and we have sat down and discussed this.
What are we looking for now? What, chief?
This one right here, will be the roads,
It's just how.
it's just like a summary type sheet.
Oh, gotcha.
So we just, I got a hold of Mark because we needed to discuss this. So what's happening with the road department all over the state is that the secure rural road funds, there's a good chance that it's not going to be distributed this year.
And
The
that's
what?
our main income.
So
SRS.
so the SRS funding is, so they got 1.3 million last year for SRS funding. And and a couple of years ago, I remember something being put out, something about when I was in the treasurer's office, somebody got a letter or whatever. And it talked about the 2025 SRS funding and that it may not be there. And if it is there, there's gonna be at least a 5% cut on it. So initially, those funds are given to us in May. So I went on the site and there was nothing there, so I called St. Louis County and talked to their finance. I said, hey, what's going on? They said it's on hold. We won't know anything until October. So we may get the money, we may not get the money.
I don't think that's accurate. I talked to, our DC representative about it. And, he said there will be a 5% cut. They're anticipating that, but he said nothing about it being on hold.
Yeah, and I've tried to research it out and everything, and I've not found anything about it. It was just, I know, there's nothing on the website yet. Usually by now, they have on their website what your 2025 payout is gonna be. There's nothing there. So, and I don't know, I mean,
Let me make a call.
it's, yeah, cause it would be nice to know. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it,
sure would.
well, yeah, because it's really put the roads in a really
Well,
bad
that's
position.
on our-
It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
so,
yeah. Lily?
At the board of directors meeting last week, I think who does our WIR stuff said that what they're wanting to do is do completely away with SRF and go back to the stoppage fee.
Who wants
The Department of the Interior, where they're trying to cut.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, I'm all for that, but we have to have some stoppage first.
Yeah, have Tim.
So, right,
Sales.
sales, and he's like, well, we need to put a mill in every town in Mexico. I'm like, I'm all for that too, but if you have no lots to run it, what's the point? And so what they were talking about was maybe trying to put forth the idea of a hybrid of, okay, whatever the stoppage fees don't cover in SRS with what
This can you supply that information.
if I said who does for WIR for
Same thing.
in the Mexico County. And they're having another meeting. And they asked me to be on the ag and rural service meeting for that. And they're also setting up, I think I emailed you guys a deal where they have county officials go and meet with all of the department. It would be a good opportunity to add. I don't have a date for that. But yeah, they would go back to stumpage, let's do that, but we have to have stumpage first. And so if they want to hybrid it, fine, but there's no way they're gonna give us the stumpage to cover that. Right?
So sawmill needs to cut, what, 80 million, say, a year?
30 million,
Yeah,
And
well,
it's
I
down-
was 40 million.
oh yeah, and
So,
it's down to less than 3 now.
yeah,
That's,
not,
so they're not gonna, I mean, yeah, let's do stumpage, but we need stumpage. So I just don't know if they're gonna be able to do that, so if they wanna hybrid it, and what the stumpage doesn't provide, they can pick up the difference, I would be okay with that, but they're gonna have to do something. Catherine County would be a county.
kind of with that.
Oh, yeah.
right.
Sorry.
So, yeah, so, but I mean, I've got it laid out there, so if, with what their beginning cash was this past year and what their expenses are against it. So their carryover is gonna be 1.4 million, basically. And another 407,000, so that's gonna bring you, if we get the 5% reduction of the funds, that'll bring us to 3.1 million. If we don't get them, we're down to 1.8 million.
Right.
And for all 3 districts, and these districts have been like budgeting $1 million apiece, so we had a major meeting yesterday where they all had to cut because we can't budget and hope that we get the fund. We have to budget off what we know we're gonna have.
Right. Yeah, I
So-
just, after last month, I thought that it was a done deal with 5% cut. And I know that.
Well, I haven't been able to find anything, so if Hayden can find something else, that would be great, because we're sitting here like in a limbo. Like, are we gonna get it, are we not gonna get it, what's gonna happen, I mean,
Right.
because it impacts the road big time. Because it's the road money that pays for all the NMDOT grants too. So if you don't have this road money, you have no road money to pay for these grants
Right.
and get reimbursement, so. Right now, it's like, I think it's like it's close to $1 million that in grants.
So actually what we did was budget with what we know we have, not what we think we may get.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And if it changes in October, or whatever, I don't know how Paul got his
Then
information,
I can make adjustments.
but he said it was probably gonna be until, we wouldn't hear anything probably till October, and so. Like I said, I don't know where he got it, I just pretty much follow him because he's pretty much in the know. But, yeah, so it's kind of scary. So that's where we're at. I mean, we've got the road budgets. Well, Mark and I are gonna have to go over them again because they're still a little high. We're gonna have to cut some more.
So the big cut was on capital.
Right.
So the rest, as far as operating was pretty close to the same, as I think, like you just mentioned, we may have to do a little cut,
Yeah, we're gonna have to
which
do
we
some
can
more.
do. We'll make it.
That's true.
Well, yeah, you'd rather find out and know before October.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping,
yeah,
I'm hoping that by our budget in June, that
yeah,
that it-
like I said,
That's
normally
all.
we would have the money in May already, the money would be hitting.
Have you ever voted?
Right.
No.
Are you giving us good news? No.
I
Well,
took it from some- I mean, it
So-
was okay, but.
Dodge has, freed up, or not freed up, but froze at everything, including SRS. But it is in the process of being released, and they are thinking maybe a 5% cut. But it certainly isn't gonna be October. Alan's gonna ask some questions, but he said with all of the western states having a huge requirement for SRS, pressure is gonna be huge for them to get that release.
right.
We're not the only county saying, hey, what's going on?
I know, it's like I said, it was, when I was looking at this, I was just like, oh my gosh, I've got to call Mark, it was freaking me out, I mean, because I was like, uh-oh.
So we'll know more in a couple of days.
And we'll just, budget accordingly, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
we'll just.
Well, and I
A
figured,
budget of 5% decrease.
yes, and I did that, I figured in the 5%
Well,
decrease already.
What we have to share on.
Right.
What we may get.
Because it can always be, we can always increase it
Yes.
later on in the fiscal year if we
When we get it,
need
if we
to.
get it. Okay.
But basically what we've done is we've just cut all three districts, capital outlay. Normally they've got $400,000 or $500,000 in capital outlay. We brought it down to 100,000 for write-downs. And they're all, I mean, they all understand, they know it, and we're all just hanging by a thread here. Cause you can get too much.
Yeah, the feds are gonna start getting a lot of pressure on this.
Good. But did you already go to the treasurers? No, okay. The treasurers is 40107.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we'll all have answers.
Yeah, I keep watching the website to see if they posted anything, so.
And Mark, do talk to Becky and Deb, if you would, please, about a contract to have an electrician come out to the
Yes.
refuge
Yes.
area.
So what we're talking about is, before Jerry quit, we actually even set the pole, the meter loop pole, and it's all ready to get hooked up. So
Which site?
Glenwood,
Glenwood, okay.
main station, where we put the
You're putting in power?
just a minor thing, so
Okay.
I'm not sure how we're gonna handle it. If,
Well, you've got the money to handle it. Well,
well, it's gonna change, right?
Do we need 3 bids for
what are we looking at? What estimated? What are you looking at?
under $1,000? I know.
Oh, no. If it's under 4,999, you just need best price.
Yes, it's under that,
Okay.
and I'm not sure how.
Can we ask Jerry Layton to quote it?
As a private vendor.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, it's a
contractor, and
Yeah.
just probably
Contractor.
ask anybody
Yeah.
else in the state.
Yeah,
And I bring
He
it
already
up,
knows the situation.
he knows it.
right,
And he's
exactly.
the one that put the pole in, and a lot of companies won't mess with it. You know, after somebody's
After
put a
somebody else
pole and they
does it,
haven't
yeah.
completed their work, they don't want nothing to do with it. because
Yeah,
of
no,
liability.
that's fine.
So if I had permission to do that, I'll get done.
Yeah, call them and just as a
I'll
vendor.
get
Yeah.
full.
And if we think it's an outrageous quote, then we'll call somebody else.
And how soon do you need this?
So we can still use it.
Well,
We just.
I mean, I'm asking because we've got, but we're in that period of,
Well,
it's like
you
an
can
emergency.
yeah,
I mean, but if you need it, if we can
Well,
fall, it can fall under the
it has
emergency
to do
thing.
with the weather. And
Okay.
stuff like that, because
Right,
we've generated out, I mean, we bought more generators to try to, you know, keep things going down there.
Right.
And it just, and,
okay. No, we can push it through.
so I'll get.
Get a quote for it and we'll push it through.
And I gave your number to John Peterson.
He called me this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it straight.
I figured you would probably,
Yeah.
you'd be the man to know. So I, yeah, I told him I had no answers. All right.
This is looking at the shaft.
Yes, yes.
Right now, the meter, reading is right here.
Yeah, it'll be on the, kind of like on the south side.
Well, this is.
Right in that corner, the south corner.
On the, yeah, southward, okay, east, whatever.
Yeah,
you
and
want.
it's already set, okay?
Yeah, can we move it over here? Because people that come on with trailers can't see it, because it's way back.
No,
No.
well, why do you think when
I
I
use it.
It's
I just do
it's
the
not even,
operation
we're
of
close
this.
to the travel.
Um,
I
I'm
expect
gonna ask by 3 people.
funds are.
As they don't want to get out of the
See
truck.
them.
and look at it.
Said.
At least they want to make sure that.
Yes, that's basically what we think it's spend more, we spend less.
Right here. Truck, right over here.
You're a low surge.
So when they buy their furniture, they basically buy bond, right? And they play with their money.
Well, don't go back. Everything you have to say.
They gotta
Keep
take,
talking. No,
it's disgusting.
this man's home that over here on the south
Maybe
to connect the electricity through the building.
we need to
So
put the
it
mains
doesn't
water
really-
behind.
Well, that was my thing, my mirror, we got it like, they, and
But gold or. Well, that's the thing, but we have to move. Yeah, okay.
She does it too, she gets pollution.
Here, just.
Wrong as,
Yeah, six down.
because we want to
Oh,
keep,
you thought I was talking about the
Yeah.
switch gear? Oh, yeah.
she's kind of looking for the day to give
Okay.
it up. I've been
Thanks.
Doesn't mean it's still a job, plus she enjoys that job. Move around. Yeah, I guess we'd have to do at least 2 minutes.
All right.
Building treasurer is next. 407. And we did make some adjustments with Rick, yesterday evening. So his is actually lower than previously.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. We made the adjustments already, so. The schools and conventions basically present about 2 weeks at the yeah, like, yeah, New Mexico area classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't have any employees waste time.
So.
Thanks to them.
Yeah, that's really just. Nothing else they were under. Joe.
Gotcha.
Understand
Yeah.
that salary went out. They're like, right, you know, they're not even, they don't even have a chief this week.
Yeah.
So everybody's on.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They're in it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if they would have been fully staffed, it would have been really close.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see any other questions that I have.
Yeah, he's actually under, so like. Good.
I think it looks straightforward.
Okay, so we'll move on to other. Do we want to do, since Mr. Proctor's here, do we want to do,
We don't have a fire admin budget. That, I've not got that from them unless you have something.
Nothing budget wise, I've got, all my districts, their budgets are updated. I haven't got the one for my office just yet, but, it mostly just covers this building and operation of it, so there's not too much of a surprise in there. I think currently everything is in positive, so. So I can finalize that soon, I'm working through.
And we'll need
and
a,
what's fun and things like that too.
and we'll need all the fire departments' budgets for this next year, so I can, I mean, I've got to be able to get it at the same time.
Yeah, so, just making sure that they get everything in, he said about 27th. The other day we spoke.
When is our meeting? The 20th? Actually, we need it before the 20th because that's when they're gonna approve the interim budget.
Okay.
Or disapprove it.
I'll check on that.
Yeah, so we're gonna, I need it sooner than later. Thanks.
Hey, Audrey, can you look at 09?
Is that the wildlife investigator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cindy, document
So.
signed on the next meeting. Or last one.
Why did the full-time salary
It's
show
like
be?
next.
Okay, so. In,
Oh, minutes.
I guess in the LNTCF, there was a line item that was given towards the
Yes.
wildlife, yeah.
Yes.
So they still have, I think that's being used, so there's still like a balance of $5,000 in that for the wildlife. Then once that used, it'll all come back over to this. That'll be depleted.
In fact, I've got the LAPCF pulled up right here.
so, and on the trappers, it's just a contract deal, where's it listed under?
I think, was it the Predator? We had $30,000 for the Predator.
Right, we put
Under,
that.
yes, and that's, so it's under that one. Yeah, that's LATCF too. So, yeah, and all I can, I mean, I printed out an LATCF thing for you guys so you can
Right.
see where it's at. And this LATCF is something that I just stepped into, so I really don't have any answers as to why certain line items are there or not
So,
there.
How does this one go, like, 'cause it's under the sheriff? Is it its own thing now?
It's not, well, it wasn't, it was by itself before. It was under the sheriff and then it was out of the sheriff, because the sheriff didn't want it part of it, not this current sheriff. But, and so now, I mean, it's
Cause I
just,
know the sheriff, like, a lot of it, whenever he plays or what, it's all, isn't he always goes to see what for you?
Or do you do?
so, but he does have his own budget. I believe that,
Well,
I don't know.
So I bought it. I put this on the next mission.
Okay,
So
so-
that,
okay, they're ready, both of them. I was gonna use the same money that we had. We weren't gonna ask for more for it. We were just using.
right, this week.
But that's what it is, like, is it a salary or is it a?
Cause that
Hourly.
Hourly.
you don't have to be
Yeah.
on the agenda as a.
It's hourly, yeah,
Okay.
and there's a,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of overtime.
Yeah, I don't know how you could even salary it, cause it's, I mean, cause they work so many hours.
Yeah, when I calculated it, weighted salary was like $140,000. That's with everything that was equipment. I have the next thing.
okay.
But these are like, yeah, these are like numbers from last year, so whatever what was going on, so I mean, if it needs to be increased, decreased, whatever, you just let me know.
Well, this is Sean's,
So
right?
what we're saying.
Yeah, but I guess for the,
This is just to me.
well, I guess it's for
Just you.
24,
Mhm.
Jess wouldn't have been working there by then, he retired. So it would have just been,
But he, was his desk still on for a while, because there was two of them, we were paying two of them at the same time.
She's not.
Well, Yeah, but Jess was already budgeted.
under the lapse.
Jess was in the budget, so we hired a protege for Jess for 65,000, but that should have been spent completely last year. I'd be surprised if we had any of that left over.
No, because Jess passed away and then they brought Tandy on, but that other trapper like January or February,
Oh,
For the
yeah,
contract.
okay.
and so they,
Picked up Jess's,
That money
Remainder,
from
yeah.
Justice Line.
Yeah,
it rolled
and like,
over.
and there is only like $5,000 left or whatever, so it, I mean, it will be
Okay.
expended.
you feel the 43,000 is sufficient?
I don't know what his salary is.
That's why this means a lot. It's just.
Well, he's getting paid hourly now, right?
Right,
If you figure in all the overtime and stuff, that's not gonna pay it.
No,
Right.
that overtime.
We did have 65,000 in,
That,
for Jeff's, Jess's replacement.
if it just.
So I'm wondering if we should bump that up to 65,000.
That was like
So
so.
like it's just worry. It's still two, it's still two.
okay, you gonna get 65?
Well, I think we should.
I know.
But then, so I guess,
They move on to cash.
so Keith would know whenever he gets, whatever he needs for his job,
He goes
it should be pulled out of the sheriff's
So,
budget.
yeah, he just needs to start, he needs to start doing under 40109, because he has his own department.
Well, we could always like.
Yeah.
$1,000.
And actually, it's, I mean,
Or.
it's better to have the separation because it's better tracked at what the
We can always
expenditures
move
are,
money.
so it's not
from-
coded.
Take, right, we can't add, but.
If you're looking for certain numbers.
Well, wants to keep being, because we budgeted for being. And she just has to meet full her 20 so she can be there for the numbers.
I don't know if it's appropriate to jump ahead, but I'm on, communications 40168.
Yes. I don't exactly, no, I was just talking to Deb about this yesterday. I don't know, this is Larry Munoz, because he like takes care of like the communication sites and stuff like that. The 115,000, I don't know where that came from, what prompted it, I don't know if there was. I, like money, I have no idea, I came into this and,
But the actual expenses are 116,000?
yes.
And
And it's,
40168. Keep
This-
going.
so this line item, it covers, I went in there and looked at it, and it's a lot of like, communication upgrades at all the tower sites and stuff like that, so that's basically what it was.
Okay,
And then his fuel, I mean, on the communication side of it, he'll charge his fuel to this.
but aren't we done with the tower upgrade? I know we had a budget in there and, you'll remember it, Buster, the tower in your district, the communication tower, that we had a lot of expenses on and took over so we've got 116,000 actual expenses and 115,000 for this year. Do you see those expenses continuing into next year?
Is that for Davenport?
Yeah, it was for that.
And see, and that's where, and I don't know this, I don't know enough about this communication, so I don't know if it's,
Can you talk to Larry
okay.
and ask him?
That should have been one time.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was a one-time
Okay.
expense.
Yeah,
That'll be nice little savings.
We may need that money to pay for the sheriff
Exactly,
and the livestock investigator.
exactly.
Brad, that should be in your documentation, in your stuff.
Yeah,
On that
I'm still
tower.
sorting for dusty stuff, but yeah, I got a good folder. Thing to pop up down for.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was iffy for me, so I'm sure. So the rest of these, like community services, the 40169, these are all just, 40178 medical building, these are all just other different outside of, they're outside things, but they're all tied into the general fund.
See, now we're talking. We budgeted 119 and our expenditures were 112.
Yeah.
Now we're talking budgeting.
Budgeting.
Accurate budgeting.
So we're looking, so Kelly's pulling up the communications budget and that line item is being, ABBA is being billed to that line item. ABBA's contract to, the 40168 that we were discussing.
It should not be in charge of that.
So for that's,
That's ABBA expenses.
so we need to.
Yeah, but that, okay, so that was, you're looking at
Communications.
$737, so that's not much.
Because cost used to be the
Okay,
communication.
so the annual okay,
I thought
so,
it was radio communication.
Well, it should be, it appears that it's being billed to the wrong.
yeah, because Kelly just said the ABBA contract, is $112,000 and it's being charged to them. So yeah, that should not be going to that line item at all.
Well, how did, if we take that out, how did Larry get the money to do the upgrades on the towers?
Well, it's being paid out of this line item. It's coming out of general fund. Basically, what I would, the money's been paid out. I would just have to go in and I would do a journal entry for ABBA and put them underneath their correct line items, which would probably be like, commission side professional services.
So ABBA doesn't total 115,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
but they're 112,000.
they are?
That's what Kelly just said, yeah.
Well, then I'm trying to figure out where Larry's funding came from to do the tower improvement.
Well, and maybe maybe you're right. Maybe his funding is done and over with and he's just,
Well, but it was
but it's
under
part
this
of
year.
this.
Yeah, if you could figure out
I can go into the actual line item and the history of it and separate it out and see what's. So it's all been charged to this line item, so basically theirs probably wasn't very much.
Yeah, so Larry, it appears that Larry is about less than $1,000.
Okay.
His was grant funding.
that explains it. Okay.
So this is ABBA, this is ABBA at 112, yeah, that's shouldn't have been put under there.
Okay. Nice. What else do we have?
Just the medical building and, senior centers and community centers and all that. This is just kind of like a little maintenance type thing for them. It's not really supposed to be anything big.
Which page is that?
This is right below the communications ones that we were looking at, 115.
Oh. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So a lot of, I'll just tell you this, from my observation of the budgets, like in these kind of things, there was a lot of spending going on. And I don't know, I have to go back and look at it. So like the senior centers, reserve senior centers and that, we're in contract with them. And so like
Are you on 40178?
the 40169, page before that.
Okay.
So like the 15,000 each for the senior centers, I looked that up, we're on contract with them. So $9,000 for each site goes toward utility bills and that kind of stuff. And once they hit that, we pay that up to 9,000, and once it hits the 9,000, they have to pay. And then we also give them an extra $5,000 per site for what, I don't know. Probably like little maintenance things or
Yeah.
something like that. So they are over on their sites, and so I'm gonna have to go in and look at that, because if it's over on the 9,000 side, then they owe us money. And if it's over on our $5,000 site, I'm not sure how that plays out, because, I'm not sure about the total agreement, like, if we give them $5,000 a month, if they go over that $5,000, are they responsible for the?
We are giving them 500 a month to cover expenses, right?
That's the, community centers.
Yes,
I'm talking about senior centers.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm with you now.
But
Go
yeah,
ahead.
so I have to do some investigating on that, because it's over and it shouldn't be over. And I did get with, I have gotten with Joe and told her, because that's kind of like that. I remember getting with Deanna and telling her the same thing, and she was not aware of it. And so I did make Joe aware of it too, that we need to keep a ongoing balance for the utilities, so we can see. But I do need clarification on the actual $5,000 that we give each site too. If it's like, if the maintenance goes over the $5,000, then do they pay on top of that? So I don't know.
Okay.
And if we pay on top of it, I don't know why we're giving them $5,000. It's like, if we, we have to pay it.
Okay.
And then 7/8 is the, medical building, PMS. So we pay all the utilities.
Again, it's nothing in the big picture, but don't you want to bump up their propane?
Probably.
Well, the repair and maintenance, I think we're gonna take care of a lot of that this year anyway.
Yeah.
Bump up their propane a little bit and I want to talk about LATCF. Are we ready?
Okay.
Are we done?
Well, one thing I wanted to get some direction on, because we didn't discuss the county mechanic. I'd also like to consider, I want your thoughts on having a county building maintenance manager supervisor. So instead of contracting with an individual like we did with J&T, is possibly look at hiring that as a county employee. We did pay J&T, I believe, $104,000 last fiscal year, and this year they were on. It would have been less. It would have been about 90. So that's not even, and so that would be, just something that I think we, under the commission office, we can include, like a building maintenance supervisor, that person would still, hire out the contracted work when necessary. But things that need, like right now, we have a broken water line at the pipe work, so that water is shut off. And so hopefully, we'll get somebody that can possibly work on that and see here soon. But
I think maybe he's like, we need this one, and we should get one and not even, but doesn't do or change. We have a main part.
Well, we spent $104,000.
We're gonna have to,
So,
we're gonna have some, we have a salary.
Well, or even however we need to do it, part-time, whatever. I know of a guy that I've actually had do some plumbing work and everything, and I think he could, the only problem is where, Jerry was licensed for like electrical stuff. And
Right.
everything. I know this guy is licensed. I don't know what it takes to get him licensed.
well, and I don't, it's not a requirement to be licensed.
For their like,
I think we can, depending on the work, that person, we can hire a licensed electrician and they can work, I mean, we can create a vendor for those kind of things, but, we don't need a licensed electrician for a lot of the work we do, you know, and I think that we can probably fill the need of a lot of our, facilities with somebody that may
Well,
not necessarily.
But I think, and we could also roll in, because from everything I was understanding, we were also subbing out mowing and everything else. That could be combined in with the maintenance aspect of it.
Yes.
So, well,
I would, and I think that
I mean, we could open up the position. I know that this guy would be good, but we could, we need to determine what's in the best interest of the county, whether it's salaried or hourly. I think it needs to be hourly. That's the discussion to be had, but I think it needs to be hourly, and so that we're paying on the job. I think that the guy could probably do enough work that he would be making as much as the salary position, but I also don't want to have it a salary position and not have somebody. Yes,
Do their job.
yes.
We're totally so busy that brings them have to equipment by the homes an hour.
Overtime.
Right.
Overtime.
It just seems like it goes one of two ways. Tracy, was there anything that needed to be discussed with your?
I'm just checking to set other on there, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't needed.
No,
We submitted our, we're in.
it's 72, yeah, just, it's the same, didn't change.
Well, I should have been about 3,000 higher. I'll get the right paperwork to you.
It happened, so we went from 68 or whatever to 72.
This current paperwork, basically the only reason there is because the mandated 4% raise for government.
But is it, so did you guys approve that? Because that has to be approved by the commissioners.
Yeah, we haven't approved it
Normally,
yet.
we just go through budget request letter, but we've done every year until last year. So I don't know. I just seen that letter.
Yeah, it still have to be approved by you guys though.
But normally this is the process it's done, so. it
So,
goes in
and
there.
so now you're saying that it went up another $3,000?
Should be, you know,
And we're obligated to pay that? We have to pay that?
but that's, they bill you for the cost of operation. So that, it's 75, 769, 53. So you don't have that current letter, I didn't get that. But basically it's 3,000, 2,000, so whatever the amount was, but it's because of the change in salaries
Yeah.
mandated from the states.
You need to follow up on their Tracy's office, because
Could you send me an
the
email?
initial.
with
Should have hand delivered your letter, so if you didn't get it, I can get you.
County.
Yeah.
I have one, signed one and everything.
I need one.
Then was initially.
Apparently it didn't get to you. What was your question?
Nothing, I was just having Deb follow up, you know, cause on your deal, it's a cost share thing. And I know, the initial agreement that was had with the state, the county has basically accepted more of the burden than was initially agreed upon. So just having Deb follow up on that.
And a lot of it's because of the change in federal, years and years, we could just almost set it third, state, federal, and county.
Right.
And about 10 years ago, all that's got jacked up. So states paying basically the feds cut their level back, and so the states and counties have upped their percentages.
Right.
So figuring it year to year is very difficult.
Right.
That's what that is.
Okay. Is there anything else needs to be addressed?
Hey, what's that like TCM?
Got some LITCF we need to talk about, how we want to spend it.
So on this spreadsheet that I gave you, that's what's been set up. This is prior to me, so
What, can I see what the
It's just-
spreadsheet looks like?
it has the sheet and then it has the blank.
Look for the one on the. all the-
Right, it should be the very last one, so. And then it'll have a blank behind it where you guys you guys can tell me what you want done with the money.
I know I saw it.
Like a blank check.
That's it.
This is it?
Did you already, I didn't see it on there, but it could have been, remember the commission put 100,000 and left it, another 100 into that.
That's the brown color right here.
So they've already moved that.
That, we're working on that $100,000, it's not been moved, we're working on
We've
that
been
right now.
using that.
Yeah.
We've been using those.
No, I'm just saying, it's not this 881,000, that's not part of that.
No,
Okay, so
no, this is, yeah, no.
Okay.
So I've got, you got 195,000 from Sierra, whatever, we've got that in separate thing.
And
And
so,
then Deb's already explained to me how it needs to
but
work.
what I'm
so-
saying is like out of that 190 or whatever that we got from Sierra,
Mhm.
that's not included in the second amount of the 100 that we moved over.
Correct, that
No.
other 100 from the fiscal year 24 is still in. Right, so we have,
Right.
because I don't want to transfer it until we get the other. Yeah, okay.
So the last column here is basically, I just put in there what was budgeted for these line items, and like I said, this was prior to me, so I just copied what was in there, put in the expenses. And then the budget balance would just be what's left over from what you allotted them, I guess.
Just so I know what I'm looking at here, LATCF is $1.4 million.
Yeah, on the revenue on the bottom, yeah.
Can we get more, was that one of the grants you were working on? Like, wait, do we have more
We're
coming?
not going there.
No, just
We're
wait,
not going there.
do we have another,
So
There was another.
are we having another pot?
no, it's already been there. It's been sitting there. No, I guess nobody
Okay,
just
and
knew
that's
that.
it.
Yeah, but it's
So-
not on this page.
It is on this paper. You have $881,000 and $792 budget. So this is, so you,
Okay,
yeah, so you have the revenue that came in, so the beginning of this fiscal year, because you got like 1.1 million or whatever one year and then 1.1, so you spent that, so the beginning balance for this year was, your revenue was 1,329,000 a day. So then you're minus the expenses that you've got going on right now and the encumbrances.
but I thought these expenses were what we had already budgeted. So what I
They-
didn't understand,
This right here, you're working off of that first million that got put in. That's what this was budgeted for, was your first million.
Right,
Okay, so this is still happening.
right.
So then the second million got put in, or whatever, so which brings it up to the beginning balance of this is 1.3 million. Because last fiscal year, apparently there was some spent. I mean, I can go over it again.
Would you mind stepping over here, Dave? Because I have the LATCF, monies that we applied. And I just want to make sure. So these 15 line items here, this is what's left in those 15 line items?
This is what the prior finance person had budgeted in here. And I don't know so this is what was in there, this is what was spent.
See
And
that?
that's just the balance of what was left of what was supposedly budgeted in there.
See, that's why I wasn't understanding what. I'll double check all that because it doesn't, I mean, we've got Kara in there.
That's CLLA. That's that $100,000 for CLLA. That's why.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why I've got that.
Okay, that's why
marked.
they
Yeah,
ran.
It all
Okay,
comes
got
from.
it.
yeah, it's more, yeah, it's because that's
So-
coded out.
Lynn
Yeah,
was
so
the-
actually,
Officers, ambulance,
Because she's not under us.
okay,
See
okay.
those casuals.
Delays. All right, that's probably accurate. Okay, so what I want to get straight in my mind, this 1.4 million, you take the 520 out of that, and that's what gives us the 881. Is that right? Okay, so
And
in,
that's if you keep, so these are gonna be, this is what's encumbered, I mean, this is what's spent on these, and so this is the balance of each one that's left. And if you wanna cut any of those off, you can, I mean, and put that money towards somewhere else.
so we did get $1.1 million,
Mm-hmm,
and how much are we getting this go?
no, we've already got it.
And how much is it?
It was $1.1 million.
The same amount, okay.
And this is 1.1 million plus the expenditures against it. See what I mean?
so this was the preliminary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good?
Well, yes. The numbers are adding up.
And I believe this is good until, I wanna say this is good until December of 2026, I believe, that it all needs to be spent by then. And my only request was to, issue another $100,000 to the Presbyterian Medical Center so they can get some more upgrades. Looking at flooring and all kinds of stuff to replace them.
Okay, so the medical center, you're thinking 100K.
Yeah, I would like to.
And I mean, I don't know, my 2 cents is I'd like to see something long lasting for the county, you know, rather than have these funds just be gone. So I don't know if some of that, I don't, like if we could get something done with the Forest Service on the Luna rodeo grounds and make that county office.
Well,
Here, use those funds. for
that's
that.
right here.
You've already budgeted for that.
So that is in the APRA, we had 460. We got 60,000.
No, but I'm not talking about improvements. I'm talking about us acquiring land.
This is for the land. I put down improvements, but we were gonna spend it on the land.
So for the ARPA, so for what you're looking at for the ARPA, that, everything in ARPA had to be encumbered by December 31st of 2024. And so we've got it encumbered there, but basically it's spent, so to speak. It's
Okay.
encumbered, but it's spent.
And that was part of the rodeo events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Luna, if we use the 60,000 to purchase the land, we can always add some additional funds for bleachers or fence or, you know, something that's gonna last for years.
I want to say, and I could be wrong here, but I'm wanting to say, it seems like there was bleachers already charged to that line item for the Luna Rodeo.
It was, they paid some of it.
Yeah. So there was some bleachers put in there.
The pans, you know, permasac, cook shack, something to make it a little more similar to what we have in reserve.
We have December of 2026 to allocate all these.
I believe that's it. Yeah, to be spent, yeah.
Tracy, what does the county need to help you
What about
in
that?
the long run?
Yeah.
No, we gotta trim and shoot it. Wow, we authorized money for
I
that.
know, but have we got
It
it?
hasn't been bought. I can't get 3 bids.
It's, Oh, I thought,
The hoof trimming table, the squeeze chute and all that stuff is at Kamal. That's,
Oh.
that's through the school.
yeah,
That was a separate bid. So the hoof trimming table that you guys voted on, I've got 2 bids to Kelly. I cannot find another company that will give me a bid. So I'm trying to find somebody that will just has one they want to sell and will make me a bid on it
Oh,
outside. But
there's
I've had 3 people tell me they are, and I keep hounding them, and I've yet to get it. So,
What's the price so far that you got?
I have an 8. The one we want is 18 something, and the one other bid I have is 40 something.
18,000?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so,
And you guys approved, I think, 20.
yeah.
yeah.
There's a process, if you can't get a third bid, that you can fill out the paperwork and. Yeah.
But just in the last 2 weeks, we've been trying to get that done.
You just have to show due diligence. So you would need to like write a little letter or whatever stating what you've done and all that due diligence, and then we run with it.
And you can't get a third bid and we're good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
If there was a wish list, something that would benefit your department permanently or in the long run, what would you look for?
Oh, gosh,
What would help the kids, what would help the fair, what would help
Yeah. Well, Mark, you might know anything with the fairgrounds down here. We just want something that's gonna show that's gonna be long-term here for the county. We
So
wanna put-
my suggestion, I guess, without looking at that deeper, is the county has actually had a portable squeeze chute that we could send, like testing bulls, trick, all this type of stuff, and it's in sad state. So
It's an
that would be,
older one, so we need to upgrade it.
Portable squeeze chute?
that would, but the problem you have is I'm not aware of a company that makes one now that holds up to our roads.
I don't-
Like this would be. So I mean,
Yeah,
and that's not saying, that's just saying because of where it goes.
yeah,
But that's something that probably could be thought of, and I think it go way back in my time, that was like bought with range better abilities. Or something like that, but it's, we've done some maintenance on it the last few years, and it's usable, but it's,
yeah,
it's 40, 50 years old.
yeah. No, I really, those arrow quips, I really like those shoes. Man, I like that shoe.
Throw a number at it.
I have to look it up myself.
So the
Those shoots were like
portable with the
20.
trailer, it'd probably be 12 or 15,000.
Yeah, with 50. I mean, this isn't gonna be permanent. We just need to have a basic idea.
Yes, sir.
Our disc and groomer are about wore out, we could sure use.
Oh, we need a spider for down here. Yes. I don't know what those would cost, but those are the best groomers those do arenas better than anything else. So we need to price that, but a spider because it does everything. It discs it and grooms out.
Problem. So we need a couple of them.
I mean,
But we share it with everybody,
That thing gets used a bunch because like on the rodeo, that's all, stuff over
so
there.
we haul it to every arena to.
See that he gets there yet.
So it's like the head of Luna Rodeo, they'll take you over there or whatever, like.
Well, they used to, and I don't know if Dennis Swap had something already and they used his, but in the past, we used to take our stuff up there. I say our stuff, the county
Right.
groomer and little tractor, and they used it.
I've been the groomer the last 3 years,
Have you?
with my own stuff, yeah.
Okay, so you.
That's what I do in if I go any deeper than that, it's a lot. So I'll
Count.
Right.
It's just a lot of.
We've got to see what it is with the County Blend.
Yeah.
That's,
And so you're hauling the tractor and the groomer down there? Okay.
Like they're having an event there and request around. We try to help all we can, so we've been.
So what is the tractor like?
Pretty good shape, still. Yeah.
4-wheel drive?
No, sir. Just good, right?
Okay. So
Enclosed cab?
The equipment that we have.
This one will get full tractor.
Remington was all bought on Governor's Rodeo money in Richards.
Right.
That's
Back
how
then.
all that was purchased.
Right.
But it's under Mark's control.
So I mean, there's a possibility there that like a four-wheel drive tractor and a new boomer could go a long ways to help.
So what size tractor?
Puts out there, like Otto sometimes have an event. I know occasionally it has to get there.
Right.
I would add a mower that goes on this new tractor.
Mower deck?
Or.
Do we need a brush?
We have one of those mower out. We did get a tractor with a mower for the airport at that hardship sale.
Right.
And it's pretty good shape. We haven't used it yet. We've played with it.
So what,
Brian,
what size tractor if we were to buy a new one?
well, I'd have to, I couldn't.
Yeah, but you'd wanna,
Yeah,
don't,
trying to run, cause that would be.
yeah, you don't wanna go too small.
I mean, the John Deere 385s, they're like 40 horsepower.
I know, but I'm thinking more in the 5,000 series.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
it's still bigger though.
Yeah, your 5,000 series because
So 50,000.
At least, it's probably
60.
60.
Okay, we're just throwing numbers out here, so it doesn't have to be exact. What do you think, Lily?
I don't want to be what we.
no, I mean, so we're just trying to think of something that would benefit the whole county and, you know,
South Street's meter.
yeah, okay.
Sheriff?
It's what you're doing, sounds good.
I have a question. So this county is so remote and stuff. And just from my situation of using the Starlink Mini, I think that our law enforcement officers all need one in there. That would make them be able to do their reports out on the road. They wouldn't have to go to the office. And for safety issues, because there's places in this county, they don't even get radio.
And they can get
And
out.
they would have cell phone, they would have internet, and I think that we need to buy the sheriff's office, at least the officers, Starlink, for, I mean, it's,
The only problem with that is we're gonna have reoccurring monthly charges.
Yeah,
Like the school did, they paid for the initial fee and then the students were on there.
well, but I mean, couldn't we allocate some money out for that, for the purchase, for the purchase of all the Starlink deal and then work with Sheriff Hughes? We could budget for the initial purchase and for the subscription for so long, you know, to budget. And then you would have to kind of figure out
What
how
is
to
it a month?
continue your,
okay,
so,
so,
so for the Rome deal, yeah, but they might be able to get by on the 50 gigabyte deal,
yeah.
just so that, to make
And
sure.
aren't you guys already paying for a hotspot?
Yeah.
So you could get rid of that. How much is the hotspots a month?
It's been very.
So we're talking $20 difference.
So $90 a month per.
No,
No,
50.
50 for the Rome.
For
Cause
the smaller.
cause they'll use their cell stuff whenever they can.
Yeah.
And then when they don't,
when they're out of
and then
service and
they'll
stuff.
just go on the 50
They're not gonna be
gigabyte.
out there watching YouTube.
And how many
At least we
cruisers
won't.
do you have?
Netflix.
8?
Wow.
So that's 400 a month. That's not a terrible.
But like, just for the safety, I think that,
We could purchase the equipment together. Within the 50 funds.
we're talking like, they get rid of their hotspots 20 times 860 extra a month and then they're.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So can I, with all this being said, can I just point out this paper that you guys can look at that I've given you? So this bottom line here is 398,000. That is our cash flow. That's the cash flow for this next fiscal year. With the budget and the revenue and all that kind of stuff,
That's the excess.
we have $398,000 to play. That's it.
And that would be,
And
for,
keeping.
that would be on grants and everything, that's it?
So this year, general fund is gonna have to cover $288,000 in grants that have not been reimbursed. We have to cover those.
Right.
And so with that coverage and everything, so we're budgeting, our total budget for this year was like 6.7. And our expenditures looking like they might be like 5 million or whatever, so. And then holding out the state reserve, have to hold out like at least 1.3 million or whatever for state reserve, so that's what brings it down.
Lily, does that include your anticipated revenues in this budget?
Yes, it does.
It'll be a little more, but not, I mean, that's fair.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's just to let you know about the reserve.
Now, one thing to keep in mind, there's a couple large payments that haven't been received yet. That we anticipate, right? It was,
Well, it'll bring it brings it up to our actual, it brings it up to what we budgeted.
it's just about 450, 500,000.
Okay.
So it's not, so there,
Two taxes, like with 300,000. Two taxes.
Well, let's get back to the LATCF.
Okay.
So, the medical center, is 100,000 going to upgrade them to the point we want them to be upgraded?
I think so, because right now they're looking at like their countertops and flooring and all that kind of stuff. I guess they're getting hit when in inspections. They're getting written up in inspections because I went over and looked at it too, and the floors they're cracked and old and just.
so they're not supposed to have a permeable surface.
Right.
Right.
So they have some issues between the flooring, their countertops, their door frames, things like that, so we need to button those up.
Okay.
But it would bring them, I mean, that would definitely bring them up to where now the outside has been done and now the inside will be.
You feel comfortable 100, well, obviously, it just seems to me that 100,000 wouldn't be enough
Well, we
to,
still have a balance of 45,000 from the first go around, so it would be $145,000 total.
okay.
Yeah.
I think we could make this commission chambers look a little nicer.
Oh.
We're ragged.
Every
After
place,
going around, we're like,
so after every place we've seen, we're like,
yeah, we're the ghetto.
come to catch and
I
get.
know.
We could have at
Have
least a flat drape that has the county insignia on it.
you seen Cibola's, room?
Is it nice?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely.
I know
Yes,
Grant County
it's gorgeous.
was.
They have a huge round, a nice round, setting with, they have 5 commissioners and then finance on, but yeah. And it just looks like a little theater. It looks like you're on stage.
Before we talked about spending money on, could we revisit purchasing the schoolhouse in Glenwood?
Yes.
There's a lot we could do with that schoolhouse for the county.
Well, the building, because that's another thing, like on officers and stuff, we have like 0 officers in that part of the county. And like, isn't there a house there?
Yes. The house really needs to be raised, unless we can get a budget to do some heavy duty maintenance on it. But the Glenwood Schoolhouse could, we could put offices in there. The senior center needs expansion and there's some things that can be done for the senior center in the schoolhouse. Sheriff needs an officer in there. There's quite a bit we can do.
If they had, like, that's part of the problem probably of getting deputies here is the housing issue. There's nowhere to rent. There's nothing.
We could certainly do some work on the building, on the home that's there. Right now, it's a home for rattlesnakes and black widows, but, well, I'd like to put some money towards the schoolhouse.
Where did that thing appraise at? And we never even heard back of any of it.
Never did get the appraisal back, but we just need to ask again.
They have a new appraiser, but it hasn't been finished.
Okay. I know that there's some stuff that we had talked about in Pike Town. We need to kind of go over that. And then also, I don't know what the availability of any, so, like Dattle. And I don't know if that lady would be willing to do anything. But Dattle does not really have a community center or anything. You know, that lady bought that land down there and will allow the building to be used sometimes, but then.
Not others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what the availability, so we need to check in what property the county owns in Dattle. And then maybe I'll talk with Blaine and see. Cause I don't know who owns that lot right across from the school there before you drop off down to the rodeo grounds. Anybody know? Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just trying to think of some long-term things that would benefit, you know, communities and stuff. And yeah, Dattle definitely on the short end of the stick when it comes to community centers.
I know one other thing with the convenience center at Kamado, is there power now at the arena there? Or is it still, see, there's no water or power
Right,
at the Kamado arena. So that severely limits any,
right. And so as we're taking power to the community center and water, that will be tied in there.
because I know they got power to the convenience center, which it used to not have power to, so I know it's getting
Yeah.
closer. So I know
Closer.
the events that I was involved in there,
Right, yeah, you aren't able to have livestock or anything, cause you gotta have water and stuff, but.
and it
power-
came back, and maybe that's a way to look at it for grants too. When we had evacuation orders for livestock, Kamado Arena is one of those facilities. And so we were having to get like the National Guard to haul water to
Right.
the evacuated animals. So I mean, if under emergency declaration, whatever, that could be something, you know, that you could get water and power there to help.
So something to consider, we've got a $300,000 grant right now that came from, it'll come to me in a minute, but that's for community centers. What, was it last year's ICIP? I think it was.
We
But
did.
wasn't that one being, that was to Kumado Community Center?
There
wasn't
was one that
That's-
was to all, that could be used for all of the.
Oh,
community
For all the
centers.
community
Yeah.
centers. So I agree, we need to do something in Dallas. Obviously, you don't have enough money to build a community center.
No, we would work on grants.
Yeah, but we just bought that metal building for how much?
That one was 60,000
or something.
I'm telling you, if we have the land, we can do it.
Well, then the 300,000 for the community centers. I mean, Glenwood Community Center needs a new floor, and that may take, I don't know, 50,000, you know, at most. And it needs some parking lot work done, so there's another 250,000 community centers. We've got another 350,000 left here.
Right. No,
So a bunch of that could go on your capital outlay request next year too, as far as,
right,
you know, but you gotta have your ducks in a row, know your project, you know, have a plan. Now, with that said, the drawback is that the building at the fairgrounds is what, 10, 12 years old now? And it's completed for, costs $1 million under that system.
right.
Pre-engineered steel building with kitchen and bathroom. Crazy. So if you got a way to do that, grant money's out, you know, you can build those buildings a lot more reasonable. Not having somebody like Jerry anymore is going to really hammering the cost to put those up.
Do you want to run some numbers on that and see what it's gonna take?
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
We're right here, medical center, portable squeeze chute, the disc, tractor and mower, I put that up to 80.
Yeah.
Schoolhouse shuttle. So you've got 350, 300 and something back. And can mess around. Are you okay with that? Will it be used?
Gattle probably uses they use their community center as well as any community there.
What about Paul?
Well, we have the existing, and then we're gonna apply for,
Yeah, so
because they have something existing. Gattle
It's got a lot of upgrades and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that has to use the school or that other little building that's.
well, yeah, run some numbers that, and it's true. What's good? Right, it's in the, I like to see that. 1,000 you're in the house.
But at least it's something
I
that's
like it.
lasting,
Yeah.
that'll pay communities back. Yes.
I would say consider looking at some stuff, it's like, example, we rent for money. They're like the arena side and all that, with the insurance requirements and all that stuff now, there's hardly any event you can have of those that pays to have it. And so I say be cautious about huge investments, infrastructure stuff that people can't use because of the bureaucratic nightmare. Does that make sense? I mean, there's a brand new beautiful indoor arena at Stanley out in the middle of nowhere. It hardly gets used because of all these restrictions. So I mean, if you look at, like you wanna have an event there and use the arena and you put that, you're gonna pay out several $100s just for that insurance. And so you look at events that we can have in this county, it gets harder and harder, like that's why they're piggybacking like the ranch rodeo and stuff on the park and all that, to try to get as many people and events there as they can, because they're having to pay those, those fees. So we definitely need some bureaucratic help from the Association of Counties to get some of that burden off. And I know community centers, or some of them are actually taking money now and paying the insurance for that facility and stuff like that. But like I said, I know when people come in and they want to use the fairgrounds, we tell them, you gotta do this.
There's not a way the county can just do a insurance for events.
So we've approached that. We talked with the lawyers about that to try to do that, like an umbrella thing. And they're saying that, but I can't imagine that. It just seems like there should be something.
I would think they could do something on a building or an event like that, but horse activity or rodeo, maybe they're gonna make that separate. But I don't see why you couldn't get a blanket coverage like on community centers and county
Well,
buildings.
no, and every arena that I know of, it's posted everywhere that basically you're entering as your own volition or whatever, and that you're accepting the responsibility
But
of any accident.
the truth is the independent groups that are using the community center, that they'll get blanket coverage for the year. That's not bad. It's 350.
And like I said, your buildings, so you're as bad as like.
Yeah, no.
You've got a arena sets, that $50,000 governor's money too, and look at it, doesn't get used.
Right.
Because there's not an event we can have there that the sponsor of that event comes out without losing a bunch of money.
The ranch rodeo that we do in Glenwood every year, the insurance is no big deal. It doesn't give anybody heartburn at all. Now, it's bare minimum insurance. Where the problem comes in is when people come in and use the arena without county knowledge, and they don't buy insurance. Right? That's where the problem comes in.
So I guess my take on that is, as somebody that has to oversee one of those buildings, is what's the difference between that arena down there right now at the fairgrounds and the city park, or the county owns the facility where El Pueblo Block is? What's the difference? It's a park. The only way you're gonna stop that is to put a law. But my understanding is as soon as you, Buster, say, I'm gonna have a benefit team will be there, then that changes that. Flips that switch, you must get insurance to schedule that event. Do it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, until we lock all these facilities up, you're not gonna, I don't know how we stop somebody from going down there and unloading 25 steers of practice.
We don't.
We can't.
Yeah, and that's the boondoggle. That's the Pandora's box, right?
And it happens.
And it happens, yeah, it does, and not just in this county, in everybody's county throughout the state and in the West. I mean, it's just something that,
But where I come back on that is we're willing to accept the liability of that. But yet, like I say, Buster wants to have an event there. He's got to have this thing which cuts into the building. So if you back up one step further, so like Blaine's been doing his deal here, we're piggybacking the livestock jackpot and all that. He actually co-sponsors our deal because he's trying to get as many people here and activities going on that weekend as possible, which helps. You know, him getting more people to come to his event, which makes his revenue better to pay off.
honestly, Tracy, my understanding is if you have an event at the arena, the bare minimum insurance is not a big deal. You just tell people if they're gonna use the arena, they buy their own insurance.
And that's what we do.
Yeah,
So then they're responsible for whatever they get, and whatever the cost was, as it needs.
I'll talk to Grace Phillips. If there's anything she can tell us on that. And on the note with insurance, I'm gonna substitute. If Lynn can go to the insurance meeting, are we still set up with that?
Weren't you gonna go?
Well, if he couldn't go, I was gonna go.
Oh.
but-
yeah, I'm not going.
Look, looks like the alternate's going. Get, are you available to go?
Well, I'm gonna be there anyways, so.
Okay.
See whose budget can afford it. It's yours, huh?
And also, can I get the hotspot deals for our 2 county vehicles? Because when we're out, some of these places, there's.
Yes.
You mean the Starlink?
Yeah.
So that's not on the list, the Starlink, the sheriff was gonna use some other funds for this.
Oh,
Starlink.
really? To purchase that?
Yeah.
And then how much is it a month to run it?
So you can get
Okay.
a 50 gigabyte deal for $50. And if it goes over that, because the next step up, the unlimited, it's either that, and then you could, for 165 for the roam, 120 is the residential.
But Lily, you gotta have power in your vehicle to plug it into.
No, on these minis, all you have to have is a cigarette lighter. Yeah, you don't even have to have an inverter on.
You got a
these.
cigarette lighter?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, I'd like to do that. I think that would be it.
Because when they're, well, and besides that, if you're doing assessor's work at a remote deal, then you're gonna have service at wherever your site is,
That would be.
you know? So on data entry or whatever else.
Just warning you though, those spots on the road where you know you're not gonna get any phone calls and you can relax, that goes away.
Oh, yeah, and the vehicles can be tracked at all times.
You know what?
You've now become a
We're in
target.
Catherine County, I get calls all the time, are your people? And I'm like, yeah.
So why don't we put this on for executive session?
Yeah.
In the upcoming meeting?
Yeah.
The LATCF? So that we can go over and then I'll research.
Mark, do you need
I'll research in data.
Starlink? You like those blank spots, don't you?
Mark doesn't want to be trapped.
Okay.
Well, I think that unless there's anybody else that has any comment or needs to. The next commission meeting is May 20th, 2025 at 9 a.m. here.
Oh, you got somebody waiting.
Yep.
I didn't mean to interrupt,
Yeah, no worries.
but, if you guys got a moment since everybody's here,
Yes.
and I don't have to go track down at your office. So you're all aware of the fire of South Little Creek, and that, I can give everybody a quick update. on
Iron Creek Fire.
Iron fire.
Yeah.
And that way I don't have to chase you down in your office.
Okay.
At lunchtime, if that works for you.
Yes, sir.
So basically the fire that, and I'm John Pearson, I'm working for the fire team as their liaison officer. For those that know me, I've done that. Been in the fire business for a long time, but anyway, the fire is south of Willow Creek, actually it's up by Turkey Feather Pass. It was lightning caused fire. It went from 10 acres to, at the time, they thought about a little over 900 acres, but with better mapping last night, it's around 641 acres. There's 5 hot shot trees that are inserted into the wilderness there, and they're going direct. They've been pretty successful, of course, with the moisture that we've received. That's been why they're successful. Otherwise, I think we've been backed off more towards the Middle Fork, Snow Lake, Willow Creek, and all that stuff. In preparation of that, they did prep contingency lines, the old contingency lines from Snow Lake all the way up through Willow Creek and Willow Creek subdivision or the private land there. So that's all been prepped. And they're going to probably leave that open based on what the potential for the next 60 to 70 days of fire season that we have ahead of us. And then they'll come back later and do some rehab work on that fuel break that they have above the private land there in Willow Creek. So that's all going well. Thank you, Mark, this morning for getting me in contact with Will Graham, I guess he's the one that runs the sewer plant here in the village. So there's a fire camp up by Negrito Fire Base, and of course the fire camps comes all with trash and black water and gray water and whatnot. But Mark got me clued in with Will, and the logistics folks are currently working on an agreement where the fire will be paying to be able to dump the black water here in reserve, which black water is like the kitchen water, which I thought it was black water, but I guess it is now. And like from the hand washing stations and whatnot. So they'll be utilizing the sewer plant here to dispose of that black water. That was a good stroke, Marks, and thanks for that. And Buster, thanks for, you're right, Mark knows everything.
Yep, I told you.
That helped out greatly. Deb, I visit with you. So I visited with you yesterday. And so is anybody from the forest contacted? That's one thing that
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth told me, but not Brian or Daisy or anybody else. So I'll do what I said I was doing yesterday. If there's any substantial changes, I'll use you as a conduit for this organization. If there's any substantial changes, I'll put that in email to you, and hopefully you can share that with.
I did receive the press release this morning that I shipped out.
Okay, good deal. And for Keith, there's no current road closures. So there's potentially, I guess they're gonna start replacing the bridge on the South Fork, and there's been 141 is gonna be closed around the 15th. Did you know that, Audrey?
Yeah, I know that we're trying to, I wish,
I mean, that's not a fire related thing, but
no, but it's gonna cause a mess.
We're trying to get a bypass.
We need a bypass bad.
but
Especially if they get all the way up there and find out they can't go anywhere else.
If they don't fix that,
I think,
if they don't fix that bridge, there's ranchers that can't even get their cattle shipped out of there.
yeah, so the reason I bring it up is if more fires start, if this fire gets up and somehow escapes our perimeter, Mark, all that infrastructure that's up there, so they will have to go back out through Collins Park and the White Canyon. And whatnot. So my question is, because I haven't driven like the White Canyon Road, is it in pretty good shape?
Yes.
Yeah. So I can pass that on to the teams for that.
How about 94?
94 and pulling tractor trailers, I said it would be rocky. But for like the caterer trucks, all that kind of stuff, I'm advising them if they're up there when this 141 gets closed, that White Canyon's the best.
I mean, if you're doesn't the other road's closed still, right? It hasn't been open, or hasn't.
Which one?
From,
Oh, it's open, but there again, tractor trailers, they're gonna be able to open down.
because it normally they don't open.
Yeah.
I mean, culverts.
Still, the evacuation of Snow Lake, campground, and that type of stuff, but not much is evacuation.
Well, the priority's better for
Days that we opened up for out of evacuation status. So with that, any questions?
Well, just what we were talking about, and this is so stupid with the government, because it would be so simple and easy to run a bypass right there, just for temporary. It might get washed out, but you could run a few culverts and just run a bypass so that, but with the government, nothing is simple.
That bridge isn't 10 foot tall, is it?
Well, I don't know, it's silted in quite a bit, but
It's not like a big.
You know, my
no.
bridge, bypass into the bridge.
So this is not in my bailiwick anymore, but I can share that with Daisy, and I think they're gonna have something with, I heard a mention of like emergency passage. There's somebody got hurt, something like that, and they could come through.
But there's everybody's businesses that are up there and everything else, and beside that, if there's a fire.
Right.
So who's in charge of the project? Is it Harley?
So Harley's probably the main guy that handles the contract.
Mark?
Harley said it was I think it was like $1 million they want to put a alternate whatever bridge. And Camille House was like, no, we're just gonna shut it, hoping to open it by September, but hoping.
So,
Yeah, I
Mark,
mean, this is beyond my scope here, guys.
if the county put in a couple of culvert pipes and drug some road base over the top,
I don't want the county to have anything to do with that at this time. Really. Unless our commissioners then decide to do something.
I just think that before they blow that bridge up, we need to, if we have, I don't know if we have to do a special meeting, but I think we need to have a discussion with Daisy and Camille, whoever, and say, hey, we
let me
can't
see
do this
if
to our
I can
county.
get Camille up here.
But it's gotta
for
happen
Zoom
quick,
For a special meeting.
because they're fixing to load that, it's fixed, I think
They
they're
were
plugging
supposed
it.
to Monday.
I think maybe the fire held it up forever, but I think this next month it's
My
scheduled.
understanding the 12th is when the contractors are mobilized to be on site.
All right,
How much private inbuildings are accessible that road?
Well, it'd be.
Lots of
Rain may say,
So like
or,
Preston has that indoor ranch where all them people bring those fancy trailers up, he's gonna lose a lot of money, and then the other way around, if you Ghost Lake, if we get rains and stuff, you can't pass that road. And then you got like Nelson Shirley and the cattle pods,
Was complaining to me yesterday.
Nelson, like that'll just,
so
it's not gonna affect me.
I'm trying to pull together the potential loss in economic revenues. And once I get those numbers, let's call a special meeting with Camille
and talk about the fire danger, talk about, recreation.
We're gonna just call that meeting like today, or do it an emergency, because we have, isn't it, Monday's the 12th, right? Yeah,
But if they blow the bridge and we put in a bypass a week later, you know, let me see what Camille's schedule is. She's usually pretty hard to get meetings with. But I'll tell her that we'll see the economic emergency.
I could go down after this meeting and talk to Daisy, maybe if she's around. I don't know if she's not, but I could try.
I think she's there because that's my next stop. But anyway, I didn't want to
Talk to Daisy.
rail about the fire. Anyway, so if there's any questions about the fire stuff,
Yeah, okay.
All right.
and no more questions. Good.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
We didn't mean to attack you.
Yeah.
Do what?
We were acting like you're the old ranger.
Yeah. I mean, I bought it before I retired. We got the belt plan and everything.
Okay.
Retired and then.
Motion.
No,
No, you just have to,
adjourn.
you just have to adjourn us.
So as of 12 p.m., the meeting is adjourned.
For everybody's information,